Hello and welcome back to Here We Tow. This week we're having a look at this Airstream Yukon. This is an £85,000 two-berth caravan, so if you want to know more about the Iconic Airstream, stay with us and join us after this.
About to leave, already packing, come with me, I'm not really asking, we'll get away to a place where we don't know, about to see the world in action.
So as always, we're going to have a look around the outside of the Airstream and we're going to have a look at some figures first of all. Obviously, I've told you it weighs in at £85,000. It's 7.6 metres long, it's 7 feet and 6 inches wide, and it has an empty PLM of 2.1 tonnes or 2,100 kilograms. That's an absolute whopper. What about the hitch? The hitch has a limit of 150 kilos and it runs on the Winterhoff hitch, not an Alco. So we've got an idea there of how much it weighs and how big it is, but let's have a proper look around. As we all know, these Iconic Airstreams are renowned because of their metal frames, these metal outsides and the rivets. As you can see, it's all riveted individually, and this goes a long way to explaining why this caravan is so heavy and is so expensive. Although I'm currently at the front of the Airstream, it's a little bit strange, and you'll see when we go inside, because through these amazing tinted windows, this is actually where the fixed bed is. At the front here, we also don't have a front locker, but we do have room for 2 gas cylinders here. We'll move further down and have a look at the Airstream as we go. The first thing I was drawn to, as well as the external appearance, was the canopy that's already fixed to the Airstream. For £85,000, I'd like to think so, but it's an absolute whopper and it runs almost the entire length of the caravan. I'm sure on a nice sunny day in England, you're going to make the most of that. As we come down here, this is actually the battery box here, which is situated on the off side. The Yukon, although not the longest of caravans at 7.6 metres, it is on a twin axle, and I imagine that is due to the sheer weight of this caravan. As you can see, there's the Pro 3.1 twin motor movers, which is going to make this a lot easier to manoeuvre once you arrive on site or even in the storage yard, because at 2.1 tonnes, you're not going to be just pushing that around, I wouldn't imagine. These 2 twin windows here are a really nice little feature, and this overlooks into the kitchen area of the Yukon. The door of the Yukon is absolutely massive, and I was amazed at how heavy it is. No wonder it's got these solid metal hinges, because this thing weighs a ton. Situated just behind the door is an external gas point here, so don't worry if you like barbecuing, you can still do that with the Yukon. There's also a brilliant feature at the door, and that's the handle here that'll help you clamber inside. I really like that. There's also a 2-lay step underneath the door, which is fixed, so when you arrive you can pull your step out and clamber in. You don't need to worry about an awning light either, because there is an amazing LED light above the door that lets off so much light it's like Blackpool. We now find ourselves at the rear of the Airstream Yukon, and this is where we actually find the lounge area, which we'll see when we go inside. Again, we've got the huge tinted windows and we've got the Airstream logo above the windows there. Here's the grab handle, absolutely solid. And also at the back, we've got an amazing array and cluster of lights. We've got obviously the indicators, the reverse lights and the brake lights. You're going to be lit up like a Christmas tree with this. And there's also the solid metal bumper at the back, just in case you have an unfortunate incident and someone goes into the back of you. Yeah, it's pretty solid. Unfortunately, I can't get round to the near side to show you what's round there. However, there is, as you would expect, the water pump, there's the toilet cassette, and there's also a point there where you have an electrical outlet for if you want to plug something in. So all those features around on the near side of the Airstream. Well, I think we've had a good look around the outside. Let's go see what we all really want to see, and that's the inside. Come on, let's go. So we open up this massive solid door. I really like the door. As you can see inside, there's no bin here like we get on a lot of our UK caravans, but there's an answer for that inside. So we've opened up the huge door, we're going to use the step and we're going to venture in. Let's go. And here we are inside the Airstream Yukon. Well, it's quite impressive, I must say, but at 85,000 I'm going to want to be impressed. So we'll start here with the lounge, which is where we normally start, but this is actually the back end of the caravan. So what are we getting and what do we think? Well, straight away you'll see we get the Airstream leather. This is the Manhattan. There are different types that you can order as well. As I say, this is a 2/3 berth caravan. Really, I think it's going to be a 2 berth. However, at the moment, the way it's set up, there's a seat here and then there's the sofa part here and this brilliant table. And what this table does, it will drop down and there are cushions that you can then place to make it a wraparound, because initially I did think on a night, if Jules and I were here watching telly, it's all right me being perched there and Jules laid out there, but I'm not going to be happy with that for long. However, you can take the table down and make it into a wraparound, and that's absolutely perfect for when you're then wanting to watch television just over here on the side. So I'll take a seat now. So once we're sat down in the lounge area, at the front there are the vents here. This has got Aldi wet central heating, so you're going to be lovely and warm in your Airstream. There's also a speaker system fitted. The speakers are up here and the sound system's just up here on the wall. There's loads of lights, LED lights everywhere, and there's also a lot of light switches. I have noticed there's different ways of operating each different switch, so it probably could get a little bit confusing. With the lounge area, the only thing I'm not keen on, and this is a personal thing, is up ahead there are perspex sliders to cover where you might put a few possessions. Personally, I would not have the perspex. I think it looks a little bit cheap for the amount of money I would have just spent to buy this, but that is a personal thing, and obviously I'm sure there's other people that love it. As you can see on the windows here, we're talking old school. We've got the little latches here for opening windows. It's absolutely brilliant. I really do like that. And the blinds that pull down, there's little holders at the bottom of each of them where they connect in on these little toggles. Hopefully they're going to be well made, because if one of those failed, you'd be pretty gutted. But I do like that feeling of the old Airstream that's in here. And as you can still see, all the little rivets as well, holding it together. So that's the lounge. At 7'6" wide, it does feel plenty spacious. And I think really we need to head next into the kitchen. There's some really good bits that I've spotted in the kitchen, so I'll see you in there. So let's have a look around the kitchen. It's absolutely massive. If you enjoy cooking, you're going to love all this space. The worktop is absolutely huge. There's also a plug just down there, so you can put your kettle, toaster or coffee machine on all this space. At the moment, the sink has got the cover over it. If I remove that, which weighs a ton, we have an absolutely huge sink. And there's also a lovely drying rack as well. So that is an absolute winner as far as I'm concerned. I do like worktop space. I might not cook much, but I do like worktop space. I'll just bob this back into its place and we'll carry on. There we go. So what about the cooking aspect? You get here a lovely oven that has 3 gas rings. There's no electric, but I suppose with Airstream it's not really fitting of the old Iconic brand. There's also a small but usable oven and grill under here. And a good feature whilst you're cooking, because I hate cooking smells, is the Dometic extractor fan and light just above here. So you don't have to worry about that in here. As you can see, there's the 2 slat windows of the Airstream, and here there's also some shelving for maybe salt and pepper and things like that. When you don't want to look at those, you can pull this down and cover them up nicely. So that's quite a good little feature. One of the things in here that I absolutely love, as simple as it sounds, is the kitchen roll holder. I love kitchen roll. So when I saw that, I actually was really excited and smiled and thought, that is superb. I know at 85 grand you might want that, but it's not something I've spotted before. So a kitchen roll holder, that's a big thumbs up. Looking round, you're going to want to know how much space you're going to get for your money. These drawers, they weigh a ton. They are absolutely solid wood construction. And in here, there's a fantastic cutlery tray. When they close with a clunk. I'll just bend down and pull this one open as well. As you can see, really well finished again in solid wood. Now, earlier I did mention there wasn't a bin on the door. So where is it? It's down here. So there you go. The only problem I can foresee with that is, as you know, my back isn't very good. And there are times when I might struggle to get down there too easily. So that's the only thing that I personally would have noticed about some of this lower storage. Back here, there's also a fantastic rack for all your tins and spices and stuff. So that's well thought out. I do like those features. There's just two things on this side of the kitchen that I'm not happy with. The first thing is there's no microwave. And I guess that's in keeping with the old Iconic Airstream as well, because they probably didn't have microwaves back then. So that's the only thing for me, because I do use my microwave a lot. The second thing for me personally, again, we've got the perspex, and although it offers some great illuminated storage, once it's closed, you can see what's in there. And I don't like that. And again, that's maybe a personal thing, but I would just like the option of having that so it's not perspex, so I can't then see all my pots and pans and plates that are in there. But that's just a personal thing. So now we've had a look at that, we need to look at the one thing that I always get really excited about, and as you know, is the fridge and freezer. So here it is. It is a tower fridge and freezer. It's an extremely good size. It's a Dometic one. And if we look in here, we've got all the shelving. We've got the shelving in the door, and we've got the salad tray at the bottom. And what I really like is it pulls out and you can bob little bits in there, and it still leaves you with your 3 shelves. So it's a really good fridge, certainly for 2 people. And the freezer, again, excellent size, Dometic freezer. So there we have it. That's the kitchen in the Airstream. It's definitely a big thumbs up. The only thing I will mention is here. This is where the bathroom is behind here, and it does come out and impede into the space of your kitchen. So if you are a larger person, you may have to bear that in mind. I know as I've turned around, I've bumped into it a few times myself. So that is the only other thing. I think we've had a good look around this half of the Airstream. Next, we're going to head on back into the bedroom. So come on, join me in the bedroom. So here we are in the bedroom of the Airstream. And because this isn't the biggest Airstream that we're ever going to see, it is a little bit cosy. However, you do get a fantastic double bed, and it's 1.85 metres in length, so it's going to be plenty big enough for those people over 6 feet. It's also got a duvet mattress, which is an absolute winner, as we have discovered. So what else are you going to get in this little bedroom? Well, let's have a look around. You're going to get a magazine rack for putting any magazines in, or even your iPad or Kindle. There's also a shelf, and on here you're going to be able to put cups of tea or cans and drinks. There's a plug socket situated below, so at least you can charge your devices on a night whilst you're asleep. There's plenty of lights in here. It's really well illuminated, and the switches for these dotted around, so you don't have to get out of bed to turn the lights on and off. As well as having blinds, there's also some nice pull-round curtains to make sure you've got plenty of privacy on a night time whilst in the Airstream. There's vents for the Aldi Wet central heating to keep you nice and warm, and as we work our way around, there's also a point here to plug in the television. I'm not sure where exactly you're going to put the television once you've plugged it in, but at least you have that option if you want. The final window we get to has a lovely feature which really is iconic Airstream, and that's the emergency exit. Yeah, if you have a problem, you can emergency exit from the rear out of the bedroom. So there we go. That is a summing up of the bedroom. The last thing now I just want to show you is the wardrobe storage, because as you can see in here, there's not exactly room for drawers and wardrobes. We've got some cupboards again with the perspex above here for small bits, but we'll just have a quick look here in the wardrobe on our side. And this is the wardrobe that you're going to get. As you can see, the aerial's also in here. We get a rail here for putting the coat hanger bits on. At the moment, we've got the cushions that I mentioned earlier from the lounge in here as well. They take up quite a bit of space, so you're probably best finding somewhere else for those to go. So that's where your clothes are going to go. There's not a great deal of space in there, so you may have to pack lightly when you go on holiday. So we've had a look at the lounge, the kitchen, the bedroom, and all that's left is the bathroom. And that's behind this really funky door with this great window. So let's have a look in here. On first appearances, I was very excited about the bathroom. But let's go in and have a look and see what you think. As we head into the bathroom, it is small and compact, but it's well presented. The shower cubicle is a really good size. There's a shelf where you can put your shower gels, over the wheel arch I would presume. There's the shower head and it's really well illuminated. In the main bathroom itself, there's a sink which is easy to get to, a Thetford toilet and a heated towel rail, which keeps this little space warm as toast. There is a mirror here on the side where you can shave and also put your makeup on. And there's also a bottle for hand wash, although to be fair, I'd rather have a holder for my toothbrush and toothpaste. The sink is easily accessible and there is a cupboard underneath with small amount of storage. The only thing this bathroom is lacking is storage for toiletries and toilet rolls. There is a window overlooking, so make sure you draw the blind. Other than that, it's a good little space. So there we are, we've had a look around the Airstream Yukon. There's so much to see on this caravan that I don't think we've been able to do it proper justice, but we've had a look. £85,000. I think it's fair to say what you're really buying here is that Airstream experience. It is pretty amazing. It's a beautiful van. What do I like about it? I like that retro feeling. The build is fantastic. It looks fantastic. There's lots of great things that I like in here, including that huge kitchen worktop. What you've got to bear in mind when buying something like this is that £85,000 is not going to get you all the gadgets that you would expect on other brands. You're not going to get your self-leveling suspension. You're not going to get your solar panels. You're not going to get all those USB points. What you're going to get is Iconic Airstream. You're going to get leather seats, that huge canopy. It's a feeling I think you're going to get. Would I be able to live with this caravan though long term? I have to be honest, and the answer is no. As much as I love the great big Airstream door and this leather, for me, I will be looking at a Colorado because I want something bigger and more practical. And by that, I mean, for example, the seating arrangement here. Even as a couple, if we wanted to sit out now, we're going to have to lower the table and put those cushions in. And I'm not really bothered about that sort of faffing around. If you are, this is a brilliant, brilliant caravan at £85,000. But for me, I'm still going to be heading for the bigger one as always. So yeah, the Colorado would be a big thumbs up. The Yukon, even looking around it now, it's still a big thumbs up. It's an exciting caravan. It makes me want to enjoy it. It's absolutely fantastic. So if you're interested, I'd definitely say have a look at one. I can see what you're paying for. Would I pay that for a caravan? Ooh, I think you know the answer. But as Airstreams go, it's brilliant. It makes you smile. It's a fantastic little experience. So I'd like to say, obviously, it's a big thumbs up for Airstream, and maybe we can get to have a look at a couple of more to find the one that we would really go for. So as always, thanks for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed it too.